What's up, guys? This is Nap X from Prospect. I mean, not from Prospect, it's from League Press, and we are here today with your host, Ms. Von the Gamer. We also have on the side, we got Ye. On the right side, we got Coach Jersey on the left side. I don't know where I'm pointing at, so guys, please be mentioned. But still, welcome, guys, to the show. We have a lot to talk about from everything. Ye, it's a pleasure to be working with you again. I know a former NapX alumni here in the flesh with us right now, so it's going to be a great show. Coach Jersey, as always, going to be on the side. Guys, let's get ready to talk some Pro-Am and some 2K. We're going to basically get started with our show topic from, as always, the highlights that's going through. We're just going to talk about pretty much the games that has passed from the coming weeks, and we're going to start off with the Pistons GT. So now, before we get into the highlights, what is your overall thoughts about the tournament from watching Pistons GT? Is there anybody that from you perspective of just watching, or just how the tournament overall, how you guys feel about how the Pistons went?
I guess I can go first. NapX alum in the building. Y'all know, yeah, now why not? So going out to the looking at the Pistons GT tournament, one team that kind of stuck out to us, which is probably most obvious, is probably most hated. I want to make sure I got the right tournament. It's like 9 of them going on.
No, you're good. So. You're good. It's a lot. I trust me. I understand.
There's a lot of them going on this time, but keeping track of those data points, I want to say is most hated. And we've been talking about these guys since I would say pre-draft, but post-draft last year. Guys, Hoff and Buke, they had phenomenal weeks. Hoff being one of the best playmaking big men that we've seen in pre-draft this year. I think, and he's also multi-dimensional guard and pick and roll at center. Can work out of the corner too as well, pass the ball, and can mash if he needs to. I think if I said this in a tweet, that if 2K leagues do not give him a look this year, it's absolutely criminal at this point. But and then the rest of his team, they're making names for themselves. We were talking about Kitch before the program. Kitch is making a name for himself at lock, and we all know about Eurodunk. Eurodunk is one of those slept-on shooting guards that we've known for the last couple of years. And then, of course, Booker Buke. And he's looking good, player of the week. I think he's one of those guys to where, well, he was player of the week nominee. He was one of those guys that he can make plays for his teammates, and he can put the ball on the ground and score for himself too as well. I think they have a good team, and one thing Hoff said is that how long will it be until you can't ignore us? And I don't think we're ignoring them anymore.
For sure, and
yeah, I definitely
go ahead.
Definitely agree with you, man. When you think about it, man, just going back to each round, how they went through the tournament, man, round one, they had a tough series against Fire Sticks Gaming, because let's not forget who they have over there. Solid team that plays together consistently in Yuma Peace and Yo Crazy and Comp, and of course Marquise. So Booker Book definitely went off that series. I know for a fact that he had around, close to 30? Which is insane, and shooting at a good clip too. I think he shot 6 for 9 from the 3. So definitely see them as a team that's on the rise and has to, get that notoriety that they've been fighting for.
Listen, they have put on a tremendous stretch, especially through the Xbox Pistons side. They have played probably the best of the best in that competition as well, beating out some really good teams, including a team with Jolo, NATO, and a couple of other players such as Bray himself, who's going to be around that top 5, top 10 pick, if anything. So them basically proving and beating them out. But not only that, convincingly in a fashion-wise on the Xbox side, also beating out other top prospects. What Ye say is coming true, especially what Hoff said. How long does it take until you ignore us? I mean, they proved it right here. They got their eligibility spots. They got they already had recognition coming into pre-draft very early. Now it's kind of undeniable at this point. Now they can kind of now fetch for more content-wise, kind of fetch for more things coming out. And hopefully we'll see more out of these guys, especially Hoff, especially Buke, especially Eurodunk, even Kish, especially how he's been playing at the lock position. Going into the highlights right here again, 28-26 going into the halftime against the Piston GT. This was the final game for the Piston GT Xbox Finals. And again, look at the stats, 26-28. As we go now, Buke, couple moves right here is trying to get something going, got 4 seconds, you know who to give it to. You're going to give it off to Hoff for the easy 2 right there, making it a 3-point game. And again, this was a fast-paced game, literally throughout the series and just throughout this game in general. Jolo's team literally up the whole time, and Most Hated basically still fighting back no matter what happens. Literally going down by 9, again giving out to Hoff with the easy dunk, easy 2. Bray took over this game too. Bray had some really good shots, really good decent shots as well, 34-44 as it comes along. Anything that you guys see from the games? I know, Ye, you've seen how Most Hated basically play. Jersey, how do you basically fare about Jolo and Bray, how they basically play?
Man, as far as pre-draft goes, right?
Yeah, of course. I'm not gonna just.
Man, I'll be honest, man. Me personally, helping with teams, we play against them a lot, especially Fear Potential. Playing them in Philly as well as a lot pre-draft. Just playing them in the Nets tourney. It's definitely tough when you go against them. You got to know you got to bring your A game because they definitely will catch you slacking and take off, and then you'll be looking at a big deficit to have to overcome, which of course teams really have trouble beating them because of that. They get a lead and they know how to keep it. So I definitely say they're playing good together, but there's definitely some things I can see that they can work on to even take them to the next steps. Of course, with the way 2K23 has played out, there's little things that these players can do to separate themselves even more and build up on their resumes. So, definitly have some things we can touch on if needed.
I got one thing to say, and this is one of my favorite quotes from 2K Comp Games, a.k.a. Jelani Mitchell. All these names just to lose to Yay Not Gaming and Dr. JoJo. That's one of my favorite quotes of all time. So that's a good example that how chemistry and cohesiveness can win you big games, and I think we've seen that the best from this Most Hated team over the course of pre-draft. Yeah. They're knocking out name after name, and they're just playing with their same 5 since day one, since the announcement in August, and they're playing these guys in October. They're playing against top 10 players. No. And taking them out for the league spot. So I gotta tip my hat to these folks.
Now I want to
bring your game, not your name.
I want to review this play real quick because this again was for the eligibility. This is for the draft spot. This is literally you know how prospects have been posting on Twitter saying this is for my draft spot or this is for my
draft spot and it's a first round.
And it's a first round. Well, this is legit. This is actually legit. So 57-58, right? Let's go back 53-58, right? Hoff VE scores this 55-58. They scored 2, right? End of possession right here. Very close game. All you have to do is hold it, possibly get a good shot. If you miss it, at least it's less time. Look at this pass on the money to Euro
Go back. One more time. That's crazy.
So
that's a read.
So we gonna go back right about here when Hoff VE gets the dunk, right?
Did y'all have AR reading growing up? I'm showing my age. Am I showing my age? That's a read right there, and it's almost automatic. It's like, yo, cut, bow. Nobody has a thumb. No thumbs.
I'm telling you, it's 2K23.
And this is the final play right here from Jolo's team. The ball goes in. They're gonna call a timeout real quick because they didn't have anything. Let it go down with 30 seconds. You only got 1 second left after that big play from Eurodunk. Great pass from Buke. And this is the final results right here. Has Jolo try to inbound the ball. They try to find somebody. They try to go for the decks, give it out, and nothing going right there for Dope. Dope is on Glizzy account for that one. And GT Pistons Xbox Finals going to Most Hated. So we're going to go back to our main screen from the studio. And
can I talk a little shit real quick?
Second?
Can I talk a little shit real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
They got Dope at the 2. Come on.
I mean,
that was crazy. That was crazy.
Dope. I'm a big fan of Dope at the power forward. Throwing them at the 2 and expecting to win.
For your league spot for the mama? Yeah, that's crazy. Not for the money, bro.
That's a little tough.
Listen,
they got far though. I can't knock them.
They got very.
It's getting tough out in these trenches, man. It's hell in the cell, like they say on the timeline, man.
Hey, it's getting.
Oh, now we can use Gritty, yay. Now we get to use Gritty.
Hey, come on. Gritty is never offline. This is y'all program. I'm the OG here, man. I just come in, you know.
I was just
I applaud him for stepping up at the 2 and doing something.
as I said,
He
like
tried.
he stepped up at the 2, and in a it's a 1-day tournament too. It's not even like it lasting very long, and you have to find a replacement. He literally did this in 1 day, so salutes to him. But giving the ball out to him and not Bray, or not trying to find somebody else in a creative play, I don't know. Especially 1 second, and the cut that even happened in the beginning of the game is crazy. So it's wild.
I think you mashed. I think you try to mash right there. You
Yeah,
had
for
a big
sure.
man. You got what, second and a half? I think you just try to force it into the big. I think that's your best bet if you can't get a good shot. Call another timeout.
For sure.
See if you can get it into the big, and just kind of hope for the best. You get matches. You can make a 70.
at least,
Like,
especially
at
if you
least
have
match.
massive
If you can't, if
or
they're guarding the perimeter well, just try to mash the ball in. See if you can get a 70 to go in. We seen that happen with a breakout. They lost series in WR playoffs. What? No, MPBA Gauntlet or WR Open.
Yeah, WR Open.
WR Open. They lost with a 70 layup. Like, just go out the rim, man. This is how the game is played.
It's so tough, man. And one thing that we also saw as well from the Xbox side, and again, shout outs to Most Hated, and they get the W, they get the eligibility spots, great for them. We are now going to move on to the PS5 side. So everybody knows Vile Gaming and Zero Gaming as well. Basically both teams, really good teams as well. We're going to get straight into the highlights from this point on. Let's get it started. So Vile versus Zero Gaming at this point. Really good game. We got Real Tay and the rest of the squad, Ham, Ash Josh, going against the likes of Venters. Goofy is up in this spot. So this is going to be, you already know this is going to be a really good game right here. Real Tay and Goofy basically going out. Willow Sauce, another player that just won Player of the Week on your 2K database, yay. So it's going to be a really big spot for somebody to basically get. Let's look at the highlights right here. So we go straight in through J Ventures with the little drive, a great bucket right there from that point on. We got Rel basically shooting his shot, gets the green right here, 8-7, first quarter action going on. Gazuli, who has yet to get a league spot, but could potentially get it right here as it goes through, gets the 3, 13-10. And then we got a little drive right here, going to give it out to Goofy for the layup, gets the bucket inside. This one was back and forth easily. Most of the time, Zero Gaming taking advantage, getting the buckets, getting whatever they need to do. And Willow
it's really weird that Gazuli is like the one player that hasn't gotten the league spot yet. Are you sure? You want to? I might need you to double back and make sure that's a thing.
Second.
You saying Gazuli is the only one of the guys that doesn't have a
No,
league spot
Gazuli got his league spot.
He got it?
Okay.
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
with the Pistons.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like before this. Way before this.
Oh,
yeah,
way before
I
this.
I swear he hasn't.
No, he got it, but it was through this game. It was definitely through this game.
Yeah, facts. It was through this Pistons tournament, which is this series right here in the finals.
I was just saying for pretense. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't get it yet. He's fighting for it right now. 24-19. Look at the shot by Gazuli. The step back, the little fade going to the wing, drilled it with no problem. 27-21. Here comes the other way. Has the pass go out to Jay Venters.
We gotta give our love to Willow Sauce, man. We gotta show our props for that man.
Oh, yeah,
man.
for
He's
sure.
been hooping. He's been balling out of control. I know a lot of people got a lot to say. You know, mixed emotions on when we talk about him, but I mean, you just gotta give props when it's due, man. And the dude has been hooping, man. Doing a lot for his team on both ends of the court.
I think the thing with Willow that people don't like, he's very simplistic in the ways he plays. He doesn't do a lot of flashy things. And then when he gets the ball underneath the basket or
like this,
he doesn't do it. Yeah,
it's like that little post hook.
Yeah,
He's like
Willow. He plays the game like a twos matchup. If you look at the way he plays like he's a 2-on-2 guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like pick and roll is like his bread and butter. He's like, if I know you're not gonna jump, I'm not even gonna hesitate. I'm not even gonna think about pump faking, going straight up. If I know you're gonna jump, I'm gonna give you one, and I'm gonna go straight up. He's not like Walnut. He's not gonna give you like the mashing expertise. He's not like super crafty where I'm gonna dot stuff up and beat the defense that way. He's like, I'm gonna give what you give me. So if you're behind me and I know you're not gonna jump, going straight up. You jump once.
One thing I will say about Willow though is this 2K23 compared to 2K22. just even having a chance to coach him in 22 a little bit, to know his game and watching him grow into 23. One thing he's added to his game this year that they're starting to use more of is his post hooks, and just giving him a chance to create late in the shot clock and get his shot up. And believe it or not, it's been green most of the time, like he's a shooting guard getting a nade. And that's one thing about Willow that people don't really know, is that his offensive bag isn't too bad. He may not be the best masher on the game, but he definitely is really top tier as a center comes to be able to get that shot up and help his guard, in other ways than most we've seen so far.
How you see that post hook being effective in the league, though, if he's going for the league?
I'm gonna be honest, man. It's gonna be really tricky to see if they change how league build is and how it all orchestrates with retail. I mean, it's a lot of things that separate these centers in retail, and that's a big topic that I want to touch on soon. Here is how is all that going to translate into league build? Because now it's 2K23, it's a whole different game. And if we're bringing up different prospects that haven't already been doing this for years on end, it's going to show. Who has the mental fortitude to make it to the next step, into the next.
You never know when you're going to get out of league.
Draft.
I had to guard the 5 out. I had to guard the 5 out with guys who are getting 50 points. And who knows? It might make the post scoring very prolific, where if there's a skill gap to where you can up fake and get body contact and go for hooks and go for fades. And it becomes like that. It was like that in 2K19 for a little bit too, because of guys who went out the paint. So I wonder if that's going to be an actual spot in the league. If so, I think this is a good chance for Willow to get drafted this year, especially with so many center spots opening up. But
definitely,
if we're going the traditional play of 2K, I don't think I'll put Willow in the draft spot. That's just my personal opinion. I like the guy, and I think in real life he's better off posting me up and getting the hook shot off. But
6'6",
yeah, he's like 6'7". It's a big dude. I'm like, yeah, are you
No,
trading up
right.
in real life when you make your guy? But I think in the way he plays and the way he plays is a little non-conventional. But depending on how the game is played, and if some of these coaches might have an insight on what it is when they're actually interviewing these guys, he might have an actual shot. It really depends.
I feel with league build how it goes, because again it kind of carries on to what everybody's kind of doing, like the meta of how everybody plays. I think it's going to be a post scoring build type in 2K League, and I also think it's going to be a defensive, like all defensive type build for a big man as well, to counter that in case. So I think it's going to be a spot definitely for Willow Sauce. As far as the series and how everything goes, Zero Gaming gets it. Realte, Gazuli, Ham, Josh, and Willow Sauce all get it. All get the prospect badge. Everybody get the eligibility. So it's great to see that, especially from Gazuli and Realte. Realte being one of the point guards that's going to be there. Gazuli probably around that top 10, around that top 20. And shooting guards and everything. I think this is going to be really interesting to see, and I can't wait to see how the prospect basically go from there. We are on to our last and final game, and yes, it's not technically for a league spot, but it's for bragging rights somewhere, and it's for the ESGA Change the Narrative tournament. And we're going to go straight into it right now. It is Liquid versus Make It Happen, and this one was a really good one as well. I enjoyed the game thoroughly. As I said, both teams really played well in this one. Literally going to multi-games, as said, and both teams really try to show out on both sides. Liquid with Spam, Benzo, Peroxide, and the rest of them going to get, I'm not Peroxide, I think it was Hezi, and I believe Stex.
Yes, sir.
And Crush.
Yeah, Stex.
Going against pretty much Sherm and pretty much the rest of his squad. And a best of 5 series, and again Liquid just came out firing in this game. This last game right here, Benzo with the pull-up 3 knocks it down. He's going to be a really interesting prospect coming into the 2K League probably by next year. I don't know what his age right now. Yeah, you can probably elaborate that, but it's going to be something. Yeah,
Benzo is qualifying for season 7 of the 2K.
Gotcha.
Next season. Yes, sir.
Season 7.
So it's gonna be really interesting.
But he is playing lights out like he's ready now.
Benzo, yeah, he could have been in the league last year. One thing I've started to notice, that before players get good at the game, the players who've always been good at the game are always going to be good, if that makes sense.
Right.
So guys like Sherm, guys who understand IQ, and where you don't have to do a lot of like dribble moves and you just understand like how to make reads and how defensive shifts, like you're gonna win games. So like I watched Fab play the other day, and he was talking to somebody in the chat, and one of the things he said, he had 40, but he's like, I have no bop. Like I dribble like an old head, but I just know my spots. And like we seen the same thing with Dayfry in 3v3s. I'm like, if you know how the game works, I'm like, you can figure it out. So before these guys can learn how to dribble and really murk you up, if you know how the game works, you can win big games. So it never shocks me when make it happen with that old head backcourt where they got like Sherman, Double D,
or Double D, right?
Yeah, and Duggs. Duggs is an old head now. Like he was a new cat in 2K18. That's showing my age again. How they can just play with these young guys because they know they don't know the game the way they do. So, but at the same time, these new cats know how to play the game. They got some stick on them. The stick changes year by year. So, Benzo got probably the most stick that we've seen out of everybody on the court right now. But just to say that these guys from these old veterans
they don't got it anymore, that's an understatement.
Yeah. Like the fact that they understand how the game works, they can always stay in the game with these guys.
For sure. And again, with how everything's going, I think the Change the Narrative tournament that Champ ran was pretty successful. I mean, like, again, it brought back some old players, but also brought back some teams that you didn't really see from before. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was some really good stack team, but it's also some teams that filled with some old heads and also some new heads or new people as well. So I'm really enjoyed the tournament. As I said, Champ ran a great tournament. And it should be a good the next one he runs, hopefully he runs the next one. That'll be great. But next one he runs should be really good, man. I will hope he, continue on. And also with his mock drafts, we're not even going to get to that. I'm not even going to try to bring it up. But Liquid wins the ESGN Change the Narrative tournament. I think they also got a prize pool as well from it. Great job from Liquid. Great job from spamming them and how they play the game. Great job on them.
I got a hot take.
Go ahead.
I got a hot take. I'm gonna finish what you got to say, and then I got a hot take.
Oh, I was done.
Oh,
I was done. You got it.
Whoever's clipping this up, I need to talk to my guy Spam before he goes to the draft. I hope Spam. I love you. I love your family. I think you do a good job at your position. But hey, let me talk to you. Let me chop it up. It's just me and you talking right now. How are you gonna play as a point guard when you don't have a top 3 shooting guard by your side? I'm gonna say that one more time. How are you gonna play as a point guard when you have a top shooting guard by you? So you got Johnny Red. Johnny Red was the best shooting guard in post draft. Won the MVP of the Dallas tournament. Wins a championship his first year in the league. And now you got Benzo. Benzo is probably consensus #1 pick for the Season 7 draft. What happens when you go top 5 pick and your shooting guard is Ye Not Gaming? What are you gonna do?
Why you say your name like you would? Come on, yeah. You're a champion for a reason. So you did something.
Somebody made it happen with me. I'm just saying to spam one of them point guards there, make it happen with a Ye Not Game. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
So guys, we are now in some of the part of the show right now that we are talking about 2K League news, and one of them is the retention period. 2K League has finally passed the retention period where teams now have to retain players that they deem has suitable to basically come onto the roster again for next season, and might let go of some of them that is going to be controversial throughout the 2K and Pro-Am community. One of them, let's get it off and start off first right here with this one. It is the Orlando Magic. So tell me about the Orlando Magic retention period, or how they basically went about it. Is there any surprise right here? Anything that you feel should be noted?
Perfect. Couldn't have missed. No miss.
No misses at all.
No misses. You can throw May at the 4 to 5. Octomay, if Octomay is out, that team is a playoff threat. Okay. Thing is, where are you gonna put Maddie? I think you're kind of holding him back at the lock, honestly.
I heard some rumblings of him maybe going there to guard. Who knows?
He might be going PG, because unguardable could do anything. I think they don't
That's
miss.
why
They don't
I
miss
said
here.
guard.
They can move guys
It's,
around.
I
That's-
didn't
it's
specify, if it was PG or SG. Real talk, you never know. It can go either way, man.
You don't know. And
I
you can move
definitely
May 4 or
love
5.
Definitely love these retentions right here with these three, man. Like you said, just to
Him to move
piggyback
May
off you,
5.
man. You can move these three guys around. So, of course, Magic's gaming coach staff, they definitely have
Perfect.
some leeway on their end to be able to pull off some big noise in this draft and shock a lot of people going into the season.
They can move.
Yeah, big up to Jonah and Potts, man. They know what they're doing over there.
They can move literally anybody
Definitely.
around to certain spots and then draft a certain, like, especially if somebody's been playing, like right now through pre-draft, they play in a certain position, they trying to get comfortable in their position for the game. Obviously, that's coming up. They can draft literally any spot right now if they really wanted to, and they already.
And Coach Vaughn, they can make some trades too, man. And that's these three guys right here are very hungry to take over this year, man. They've had story downs, but Unguardable is definitely gonna play, man, offensive end, and he's gonna come for a lot of lockdowns this year. It'll be fun to watch.
We'll see from the Magic's gaming side and how everything's going to go. We're going to move on to our next team, which is the Philadelphia 76ers. I think it was a no-brainer right here, obviously keeping these three. I mean, obviously 630, Dre's been hooping, won an award, 630, former MVP, and DT, obviously one of the backbones of this team. Literally, I think Terrell had no issues making these picks, and obviously you let him go solid, if not talented center in Yusuf, and let him go unrated go. But as I said, I think this is the clear three that was coming in. I don't think we have to go on this much longer. But your thoughts and opinions, guys.
You know, Jeff Terrell don't miss.
Oh yeah,
point. This is he about to go into the 6th year. Bringing in DT. DT is perfect. Like his is best season, season 5. Bringing in DT and having him have his best season in his 3rd year career, great. Dre making him damn near. He was a rookie of the year last year candidate, and then now he was an MVP candidate this past year. Well, in my book at least. And then 630 the MVP to make that trade to bring him over. I'm like, well, he doesn't miss, and he talks to his players in a way that, like, you'll see Coach K talk to his guys,
right?
The way you will see like Eric Spoelstra talk to his guys. Like he talks to those guys where he can meet them at their level, but at the same time check them on the bullshit. So like that, I can always tip my hat to. Like Jeff Terrell never, even if we disagree on anything, like the man doesn't miss.
Definitely, man. I mean, let's just be honest, man. There was a fan favorite on this team, and I cannot lie. Big ups to Yusuf, man. He was a dog, man. A vet in the league, man. Very well respected, and his story speaks for itself, man. So if you know, go find out. But I definitely these three were automatic takes. Once they got 630, the way they're not retaining that backcourt, and you got DT, man. He's a defensive dog, man. Shout outs to the lockdown as well, another dog, man. And Phil, that's where I'm from, so big shout out to Philly, man. They're doing big things, man. Coach Terrell knows what's going on over there, and he's got those in, man.
Going up next right here, we got the Celtics gaming, and I think this one was, again, another no-brainer, considering the situation now. Some people really thought that FT was probably going to be gone. But again, after the impressive showing, especially in the 3-3 side, I mean, he has literally played phenomenal, especially on that 3-3 side. And obviously, they had a good run. FT, Tazo, and Colt, leaving out now also Trey and Bully. What is your guys' thoughts on the retention for the Celtics? I'll start with you, Coach Jersey.
Yeah, man, I'll take the front on this one, man. Now, the Celtics are another favorite of mine, man. Able to work around FT, man, and being around him day to day from time to time as a coach and just, as a friend. He's definitely passionate about the game, man. And that's one thing that is hard to find, man. If these players but don't put the work in, then that's going to say a lot when it's game time. And FT is one of those guys that steps up, man. And you can't go wrong with Tazo, man. A top lock in the league, man. Eyeball's very own, man. Tazo's a dog, and he's so young. He's only getting better. It's a good core they got right here. They have some, vets at young ages, and of course, the big dog Colt, man. His transformation has been insane, man. And big ups to Rico over there for Celtics game, and they're doing their thing. And I definitely see a lot of promise this year, man. Watch out for these right here. They're gonna make some noise, not just on the 3v3 side. Look out for them to make some noise on the 5v5 side as well, as I see some promising things coming about. Just gotta wait and see. Draft day will be fun.
Yay, you have the floor.
I'm honestly kind of surprised with the FT.
I said the same thing, Yay.
I'm surprised on the FT pick before expansion. Just because you give up an earlier pick, I think Rico could afford to let him slide to expansion and then pick him up after. I'm not mad at taking him. I'm just surprised at taking him before expansion. Just because FT is one of those, I played against him. I've seen him play. He's a good guy. I think he had a good year in 3v3.
Mm-hmm.
I think you don't prioritize 3v3, especially with this year's talent coming into the year, to where even if you pick a guy late first, you can have him do what FC did.
Mm-hmm.
My personal opinion, I think Tazo and Colt are good picks, but wasting that pick early to keep him before expansion, I think it just was a bad decision on Rico's part. But I'm not mad at keeping him, if that makes sense.
And that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
As I said, like, he performed well on the 3v3 side. I think that team literally went the distance and potentially could have made some money, especially if it came down to certain plays. It's just heartbreaking that they didn't win it. But again, they have a lot of good pieces with the team already with Tazo and Cole. Yeah, FT can basically mesh with whoever they get at the 2 guard coming up or coming into this draft coming in, and also just find a really good solid power forward that can line up with Tazo and basically get him somewhere. I think the Celtics can get somewhere. Again, this was the team that had a potential high volume offense at some point, and also a really solid defense during the season. They just kind of put things together a little bit too late, but I think this team could definitely do something with the remaining pieces right here and potentially get somebody coming in. We had the Celtics. Yeah, the Celtics are already pretty much finished. This is a friendly reminder. I know it's just a picture of the 2K League, and again, it's inside the 2K23 gameplay. But again, guys, Combines is up for the 3v3 right now. Make sure that you play your games. We're going to move on now to the next team, Kingsguard Gaming. Crush and Bash is the only retentions. Not a third retention at all. It's just 2 people, Crush, Bash. What is your thoughts, guys?
Yeah, that's a shocker, man. Definitely a shocker.
I'm actually surprised in bringing Bash back, but I don't think they had anything. I don't think they had any other options.
I think
they're blowing it up. I think Crash is moving. Crush is moving.
I like that take. That's a hot take out of you, but I like that take.
I think when a team literally, because again, everybody knows that the 2 main things for a team to basically get it going is the guards, whether it be the shooting guard, point guard, doesn't matter, like where it goes from or how it goes. As long as somebody can put the ball in the basket or show that they can put the ball in the basket, I think that's fine. But also a really good big, and I think this team doesn't have any really like solid, if not really top tier point guards or bigs right now on this team. Obviously, they have one of the best locks, if not, I feel like in the top 5, top 3 category of blocks right now in Crush. But again, when you only have a lock, he only can do so much as far as communication wise, defensive wise, everything. So if you need to break it down, I do agree with Ye. You might see Crush on the move somewhere in a blockbuster trade somewhere. And again, just keeping Bash, I think it's just for more leverage, more trade value for going on. Again, Bash has been traded multiple times. I still feel as though that it could continue. And I'm not saying not bashing Bash at all. Bash can play a solid role at the point guard or shooting guard. We've seen him play with Mamba before and play him with point guard and shooting guard. We've seen him play in different roles before. So it's not the question that he can't play in different roles. I think the question is, does he fill out with the point guard, shooting guard that you're bringing in with him? And I think that's been the wondering question with Bash. With Crush, though, again, I just don't see a franchise moving on unless they get a guard or a center. And the fact that they have one of the top locks in the league and really can't really give him anything as far as help goes, as far as how play style go, I think it's really tough, and I think they're gonna move on from him for sure. I think they're just keeping them for value, if that makes sense.
I think so too.
I mean,
think you got to keep it as a value guy.
I mean, Crush is still a top lock. Crush is still a top lock,
for sure.
At the end of the day, there's really nothing else much to say about Crush. He's a top lock, and he's vocal. He's a leader. He's another one of those Steez type of players where out of him, and he's also going to bring more than what you would expect from a top player. And on top of that, when you leave your ego at the door and you're locked out, willing to put the work in every day, man, that the organization needs. When they bring in these new guys, they look up like Crush, who's going to put the work in daily and show these young guys how to sustain being a great 2K League player.
It's going to be tough to see how the Kingsguard Gaming crew is going to go, especially after a very disappointing season last season. But they have a lot of value to go on, and we'll see how they do in this coming draft. Next, and this one was a shocker too, because boy, the Wizards DG was not expecting Dave Fry to retire, and then all of a sudden the next day becomes the Mavs head coach, which is a total bombshell to the league. But we kind of knew he was getting somewhere to Dallas. It's just how he was going to be, whether it be a player or a coach, he's finally there. Otherwise, from that, the retentions are Cap, Just Awkward, and Nudini. I'm not surprised by the two, Just Awkward and Dini. I think they want to keep Cap and try to continue the tradition as it is. Were you surprised that they kept Cap in any form of way? I'll go start with you, yeah.
I think that I was surprised they kept Cap outside of Dave Fry.
Right.
I thought Cap was a very experimental guy. I think if you let's keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck with everybody in here. I think if you load, you're not gaming up at point guard on that Wizards. We're a fifth seed. We figure it out. You know what I'm saying? We figure it.
You get gritty, huh?
Been there before. I understand how the game works, Jersey. Come on, one day you get there, you'll understand what I'm saying. But I've been there before, and I've been we're a fifth seed if I'm at point guard on that with us. But now I ain't gonna take Cap. Cap was hooping in the playoffs. Cap looked really good in the playoffs, so I understand why they kept.
Cap's a dog.
But
Cap's pretty gritty.
I think he's the same thing with the Celtics. I think he's still there after the OZ pick. But then again, it's a toss-up depending on who OZ wants to really bring in. So I kind of understand why they brought him in, but I'm not afraid to lose him.
Right.
Especially playing with a guy like Ock and Dini. Dini the most winning player in 2K League history, bro. I'm like, you think Dini gonna care who's at that point guard? But he's gonna find a way to get back to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Especially if they have any first round pick.
They will crawl to the playoffs if they need to.
If you have any first round pick in this year's draft, you'll find a way to get back to the playoffs. Any first round pick in this year's draft, you'll find a way to get back to the playoffs. I got something
for that, man. Because I know for a fact that with you saying that, we could say, hey, keep B Rich, think that Cap will still be there, but Cap definitely had a good enough turn some heads and open up some eyes, and you never know with the way the draft may go, and there may be a team looking for someone like Cap and give him that grit that he showed the Wizards. Now, shout out to Dave Fry. Him and the Mavs got some big things working on too, but let's just be real. Cap was the right pick, man. Having B Rich there, the shooting guard, being able to draft a point guard, who knows who was available? Maybe someone like, who knows? I'm not going to say another name. I'll just stay quiet about that, but I'll let you guys out there watching plug in who you think would be a great one. And comment, when you watch this, who you think would be a great replacement. But Cap, to me, was the good pick, man. And I'm never going to go against Wizards Gaming and what they got going on over there, man. Wizards DG knows what they're doing, and Pat is doing so. And like Ye said, Nudini has definitely made the most money pretty much up there. So let's not go against them with Awkward and him and the PNR and say Nudini goes center and they pick up a power forward. Either way you swing it, man, they definitely know what they're doing, and it's definitely great three to keep. And after watching them take that trip, Cap and go out there, what was it, to Japan?
Yep.
You knew they were keeping them, man. No way to let them go, man. So big ups to the Wizards over there, man, and Awkward, man, and looking to see some big things from them. It's going to be very interesting what they do with the remaining pieces.
With that in mind, we got the Cavs Legion GC. We're going to go a little bit quicker with our thoughts. We're gonna get One Wild Walnut and Antoine. I say this was probably clear cut. I don't think anybody that you basically saw from the team. Probably the one person I would say would probably be like Fakey, maybe.
No, Fakey hurts,
Right.
man. I was
Yeah.
gonna say that.
It
hurts, man.
but I kind of understand the reasoning of why.
I see why. Yeah, I see why they got rid of him.
And
Shout out to the coach of the Cavs Legion, man. You know, man, he tried to make some trades that didn't work out, unfortunately. A lot of drama involved in that. But he's going to make moves, and I trust Antoine. And Walnut's an OG, man. Antoine's been moving in retail. He's locked his reps in, man. He's ready for this season, man. And it's his season to take it. So him and Walnut, that's that one.
All right. And with everything, I think this was the correct go about. Again, Walnut, one of the top centers in the league. Antoine, really good scoring guard where you can put point guard or shooting guard anywhere, really. I think this is a good pick. And again, the Cavs have some leverage as well. So we'll see how it goes for sure for the Cavaliers. And again, they had a really good season. At the very end, they had a really good start as far as a positive record. Not a really good start, a really good ending to the season with a positive record. So we'll see how it goes. Lakers gaming protected, Reg, Reese, and Crazy. Again, they had a really good start, regular season with the Lakers. Unfortunately, it came to an end to the T-Wolves. I think this was clear cut from the beginning. Obviously, you keep your guards, you get your star center, you let go of Green Too Nice and Tack. I think this was kind of simple for the Lakers. And again, they get the number 7 pick as well. I think you can find some leverage possibly if Bray falls down. You know what I'm saying? You probably get that little Bray piece right there. You have somebody that can interchange.
What pick do they got?
It's number 7. They took it from the Raptors. From the Raptors.
Raptors.
Yes, sir. They're moving, man.
They
Shout out to Nacho.
Hey, Roy, save the queen. Please save the queen. Come on.
Hey, man. You
That's
can't go
crazy.
wrong with them
That's
three,
crazy.
man.
You can't miss at the Lakers. They're in
You really
win now
can't.
mode.
The 1-2, man. It's looking like the Sixers over there, man.
Bray is there. You grab
Strong
him. Then
three.
you got to find the most versatile guy there at that spot. Crazy
Yeah,
can
I
move
may be
around. Don't
calling
forget
it
about
now.
that.
Yeah,
Crazy
crazy.
can move around.
Crazy can move
Sixers
around.
and Lakers are looking like a top 5 finish teams.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And Lakers gaming gets those 3 guys, and they still have a lot of talk right now with the number 7 pick. So we'll see how they move on draft night for sure. Following all this, again, disqualification against the league news just came out today. We already know about, and I'm pretty sure everybody knew the obvious of Splash basically getting out, and also the Dallas Mavericks Zay getting out. But we also have news that the Trailblazers, as far as Rob, as far as Random, and I think Brett as well, is all suspended from the thing. And also the Blazers 5 gaming coach is also out of there as well. So Blazers now starting fresh. They have 3 first-round picks, a new head coaching spot. It's going to be a fresh rebuild for the Portland Trailblazers gaming 5, especially coming up in this season. Guys, give me your thoughts before we head on to our last protection.
Man, they got nothing but my boy Lavish Phenom over there, man.
And that's if they retain him, because they still have to go through their retainment period too. So it's
wow.
Retain my boy Lavish.
It's a tough time in the league,
Lavish.
man.
Keep Lavish. I need Lavish. I just want to see the Will Smith meme when everybody moved out. Lavish had posted on it. That's what I want to see, man. Like, I mean, I think this is a perfect rebranding tool for the Blazer 5. I know. I think this is dumb for all these guys. They knew this was illegal from the beginning. Everybody is suspended for it. So I honestly think at this point these folks don't care. It's tough because a lot of my favorite names are gone. You know, Bread, Splash. I'm like, it is what it is at this point. It's creating more opportunities for these folks coming up. And, you know, a lot of these guys been in the league for a while, so it gives them the chance to find something else in their lives, or trying to fight their way back to the league. So, I mean, it's one of those is what it is kind of things. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I like the Blazer 5 franchise, playing against them, playing against those guys in heated battle 2 years in a row, and then watching them play for another 3. So I hope they rebuild and find some good talent to come over here.
For sure. And again, we're going to keep tabs on the Blazers throughout the season. And this is going to be our last retention right here. just announced today, Gen G Tigers protect Feast, return to DJ, and Gallo, obviously the Rookie of the Year. What I was surprised about, and again, a lot of people were saying in the previous time, or pretty much during pre-retainment period, was they was going to keep Bumpy instead of Return to DJ. And I think a lot of people were saying, hey, Return to DJ falls down here, listen, we'll basically get him very quick. Because again, last pick of the draft, literally gets retained, played really good. Give me your quick thoughts on the Gen G Tigers protection right here, guys. How you feel about it?
Go ahead, Jers.
Hey, man. I was going to let you take the lead on this one because it's pretty obvious, man. You got the Rookie of the Year, man. You got a seasoned vet in return of DJ. As far as Prime goes, man, he's been doing this thing, and he's pretty much a sleeper this year. I see a lot of big things out of him, and people don't really see it, but they might be having to change their tune on him soon. And, of course, Big Feast, man. You can't not, keep Feast, man. Now, I will say, it's a little shock. Hezzy, but there was a lot of stuff going on there. So it didn't look like he was going to be coming back anyway. So, I mean, I don't see these three being bad takes to move on going forward. And G is going to be making some noise once again. Now, we're just going to see if it's going to be in 3v3 or 5v5 this year.
Yeah, your final thoughts before we get off the topic.
Yeah, I get why they tapped DJ. I personally would have kept Don because I think I can move Don 3 and 4. But DJ had a great year. Bro. Yeah, I think you keep another track on him. I think, and then also it might be a play. I think they might be running some shit where they might think Don's gonna slip, and after expansion and just take him back, and they just take a chance on the lock and just figure it out. But I'm like, I don't know what Landis is thinking. I'm not mad at the decision, but at the end of the day, he still can grab Don after expansion. So We'll see what happens, man.
And with all that, the retention period is still going on. We still got a lot of teams coming up. We will talk about other retention periods coming up soon. We'll be back after this break.